I think that the amendment that clarified the fact that nothing in this bill should impact the ability of a kid to get the full program afforded to them in their IEP is an important change that I very much welcome.
In addition, we've got the Individuals with Disabilities Educational Improvement Act, the IDEA, which is a federal law. California mirrors federal law in this respect, that requires that kids with special needs, in California we say kids with exceptional needs, but kids with disabilities must be educated in the least restrictive environment. And what that means is, to the maximum extent possible, they have a right to receive an education with non-disabled peers, and the only exception for that is if the child's disability prevents it. That's the only exception. There's also a procedural protection under the IDEA. It's called a stay put right. And with that, it's a procedural protection for parents. And what it says is, if the school district, or the state for that matter, wants to change a child's educational placement, in this case from a public school placement to a homeschool placement, that cannot be done, and the parent disagrees with that decision, you've got to go to a federal judge and get an order from a federal judge after the federal judge hears the evidence, and the federal judge has to agree that the changing of the placement is appropriate for the child.
Senator Allen.
Can I just make two comments? First of all, about the IDEA issue, and it's possible that the speaker hasn't. I don't know if you have a copy of the amendments, but I think that the amendments that were made with respect to the IEPs were absolutely dead on address the IDEA concern. That nothing in this section shall prohibit a pupil that qualifies for an IEP pursuant to federal law and section 56026 of the Education Code from accessing any special education and related services required by the individualized education program. And most IEPs do require a mainstreaming component. That's part of the law. That's part of the movement. So I just wanted to make sure that this new amendment, I think, head-on addresses the concern about IDEA.
Assemblymember Waldron.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Just a quick follow-up for the person from the Department of Education who's here. He's coming. And while he's coming up, I believe the amendment that you took would address this and answer it, but just for clarification, with SB277 and the amendment regarding individualized education program or an IEP, would that apply to all aspects of special needs child education? In other words, would a special ed student be allowed to take part in normal classroom activities with all other kids in a general setting if they had the exemption?
Yes, they would.
And that's just with that amendment that allows that?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. I just wanted that clarification.